Imagine opening a letter and finding your name on a $150,000 loan you never signed. That's what I found. Claire Donovan, 30, staring at papers my own mother forged. It wasn't just money they stole, it was trust. If you've ever felt used by those you love, stay with me. Hit like, subscribe. Let's talk about finding real family. I grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut, where big houses hide bigger secrets. My family, the Donovans, seemed perfect. Dad, Edward, made millions in real estate, his charm masking a need for control. Mom, Margaret, ran charity events, her warmth reserved for the spotlight. My brother, Tyler, 26, had a smile that won hearts and endless second chances. We lived in a 6-bedroom mansion, all polish and no heart. Love it came with conditions. Edward saw family as a business, each of us a role to play. He pushed Tyler to shine, maybe to relive his own dreams. Margaret adored Tyler's spark, but I think she feared losing him to his recklessness. Me, I was the steady one. Reliable Claire, who got A's and a scholarship to Yale. Tyler got a Tesla for his 18th birthday. I got a used Toyota and a nod. I didn't resent it, not really. I thought hard work would earn their pride. I was wrong. Now, I'm a data analyst in Stamford. With my own apartment and a solid savings account. I built that life myself, but my family never stopped asking. A few bucks for Tyler's rent. A donation for Margaret's gala. I said yes, hoping it'd bring us closer. Then came the envelope, a loan for a Cape Cod beach house. My signature faked, $150,000 tied to me. For Tyler's future. Margaret's note said, "We knew you'd help." Claire, help. They didn't ask, they took, from their view. Maybe they thought they were saving Tyler, giving him a fresh start. Edward always said family sticks together, no matter the cost. But the cost was mine, my trust, my future, that moment, holding those papers. I saw it. This wasn't love. It was a deal I never agreed to. I'm sharing this because I know what it's like to feel trapped, to give everything and get nothing but guilt. You're not alone. This story's about breaking free, about learning family isn't who you're born to, it's who stays when the bills stop. Stick around. Let's find that freedom together. Share your thoughts below what's kept you stuck. Let's talk. Greenwich, Connecticut, was my world as a kid. Picture a mansion with white columns, a lawn like a golf course, and a silence that felt heavier than the chandeliers. I'm Claire Donovan, and back then, I thought family meant proving you belonged. Our house looked like a dream, but inside, it was a maze of rules I could never quite navigate. I was 8 when I noticed the difference. My brother, Tyler, 4, all curls and giggles, could spill juice and get a hug from Mom. Margaret, I'd forget my lines in a school play, and she'd frown, saying, "Claire, you're better than that." Dad, Edward, was stricter. He'd quiz me on math at dinner, nodding when I got it right, but his eyes lit up for Tyler's silly jokes. Tyler was their joy, their project. I was the one who had to earn it. By middle school, the gap was clear. I studied late, aiming for perfect grades. While Tyler got soccer camps and new bikes for just showing up, Margaret saw him as her dreamer, maybe a way to keep her youth alive. Edward pushed him to be bold, like he was shaping a mini version of himself. Me, I was reliable Claire, expected to succeed quietly. At 16, I won a scholarship to Yale, Edward said. Good job, and moved on. Tyler got a Tesla for his 18th birthday, even after flunking half his classes. My used Toyota came with a lecture. Be practical. Claire. I smiled, hiding the sting. There was this one night, though, that cut deep. I was 15, keeping a journal under my pillow, scribbling my hopes maybe one day they'd see me. I came home to find it on my desk. Pages creased. Margaret had read it. At dinner. She teased. Claire's writing love notes to herself. Tyler laughed. Edward didn't look up. I felt naked. My heart laid bare for their amusement. I stopped writing after that, burying my feelings where they couldn't reach. From their side, maybe they thought they were balancing us. Tyler needed encouragement because he struggled. I was fine because I was strong. But strength isn't love. It's just a role they cast me in. I didn't see it then. But that house, with its perfect walls, taught me early love was a prize. And I was always one step short. I kept chasing it, believing if I was good enough, smart enough, I'd win their hearts. All I won was a lesson I'd carry for years, one that would hurt, but one that would eventually set me free. Yale was my ticket out of Greenwich, a chance to build something that was mine. By 25, I'd done it a data analyst job in Stamford, a small apartment with a view of the harbor, and a savings account I watched grow like a fragile plant. I'm Claire Donovan, and I thought I'd escaped the weight of my family's expectations. But the Donovans, Edward, Margaret, and Tyler, had a way of pulling me back, their hands always reaching for what I'd earned. It started with a call from Margaret. Her voice was warm, almost too sweet. Claire. Tyler's struggling with rent. $2,000 would help. Just this once. Tyler, jobless, after quitting another college, lived in a Norwalk loft he couldn't afford. I pictured him grateful, maybe inviting me for coffee to say thanks. I sent the money. He texted, "Cool, thanks." And that was it. No coffee. Just silence until the next ask. Edward called a month later. "Claire, I need a quick $10,000 for a Westport deal. It's a sure thing you'll see a return." He sounded confident, like he was doing me a favor. I wired the funds, hoping it'd earn me a real conversation, maybe a nod of respect. The money vanished. No return. No mention. Margaret's turn came next. "The gala needs a boost. Claire, $3,000. "You're so good with numbers." I paid, telling myself it was for charity, for family. But each check I wrote carved out a piece of me. Tyler's mess was the hardest to swallow. He ran up $15,000 on a credit card clubs in New York, a leather jacket, a weekend in Atlantic City. He called, voice shaky. I screwed up. "Claire, help me, please." I saw the little boy who'd once clung to me during storms. I cleared the debt, my savings bruised but my hope intact. Margaret smiled when I told her, "You're our anchor, Claire." Anchor more like a vault. 3 months later, Tyler did it again, $10,000 on another spree. When I asked why, Edward cut in. "He's young, Claire. Let him live. You've got plenty." Maybe they thought they were helping Tyler find his way, keeping him from falling apart. Margaret often said he was searching for purpose, and Edward believed tough love would ruin him. But their care for him meant leaning on me, assuming I'd always say yes. I was 28, staring at my bank balance, wondering why I kept opening my wallet for people who never opened their hearts. Each request, rent, loans, debts, came with a promise of closeness that never came. I didn't see it yet. But I was learning their love wasn't free. It was a debt I'd been paying my whole life, and the bill was about to get much bigger. I wanted to believe we could be a real family. At 29, I poured my heart into planning a weekend in Manhattan, hoping to mend what felt broken. I booked a hotel overlooking Central Park, got tickets to a musical Tyler loved, and reserved a spot at a cozy Italian place. I'm Claire Donovan, and I imagined us laughing, connecting, maybe even feeling like we belonged to each other. But hope can blind you, and I walked right into the truth. The weekend wasn't awful, but it hurt in quiet ways. Margaret glanced at my apartment and said, "Claire, it's so small. Don't you want more?" Tyler talked nonstop about a new business idea, barely asking about my life. Edward scrolled emails during dinner, muttering about deals. I mentioned a big project at work, and Margaret nodded, distracted. "That's nice, dear." I swallowed the ache, told myself it was enough to be together, but I felt like a guest in my own plan. Then came the moment that broke me. I was in my Stamford office, sipping coffee, when I opened Instagram. My cousin Sophie's post stared back. Donovan Thanksgiving, so grateful for family. The photo showed my parents' Greenwich dining room, warm with candlelight. Edward sliced a turkey. Margaret arranged desserts. Tyler toasted with our aunts, uncles, even distant cousins. Everyone was there except me. The date hit like a punch last Saturday. They'd planned a full holiday, and I hadn't gotten a text, not even a hint. I called Margaret, my voice tight. "Mom, why wasn't I invited to Thanksgiving?" She paused, then answered, light as air. "Oh, Claire, it was spur of the moment. Tyler needed us. He's been low. We figured you were busy." Busy, I'd cleared my weekend, hoping for an invite. "Tyler told you I was busy. I pressed." Another pause. "Well, he said you seemed stressed. We didn't want to burden you." Her words cut deep, framing my absence as my fault. From their side, maybe they thought they were protecting Tyler, shielding him from whatever struggles he hid behind his charm. Margaret always worried he'd spiral without her support, but choosing him meant erasing me. Tyler's text came later. "Sorry you missed it. Sis, was fun. Need help with Mom's Christmas gift, maybe a spa day. Call. No regret. Just another ask." I stared at my phone, memories flashing my Yale graduation, delayed because Tyler lost his keys, family dinners where my stories were drowned out. I'd been sidelined my whole life, and I'd let it happen. The hurt wasn't new, but this time it burned with a clarity I couldn't ignore. It wasn't just a missed holiday. It was a message I didn't matter unless I paid. And that truth was about to change everything. It was a quiet Wednesday in Stamford when the envelope arrived, slipped among my usual mail. Heavy, formal, with my parents' Greenwich address in Margaret's neat handwriting. "I'm Claire Donovan," and I thought it might be a thank you for the Manhattan weekend I'd planned. Instead, I pulled out papers that stopped my heart. A loan for $150,000 tied to a Cape Cod beach house. My name, Claire Donovan, listed as co-signer. My signature at the bottom. Only I hadn't signed it. I'd never even seen the place. My knees buckled as I read on. Payment terms, $2,500 a month. 10 years. A note from Tyler. Casual as ever. "Sis the ex for this. Needed a fresh start. Mom and Dad said you'd be cool. Cool. They'd forged my name, chained me to a debt for Tyler's dream house, without a word. I sank to my couch, papers trembling in my hands. Then my phone pinged a bank alert. Someone tried to access my $50,000 savings account from Edward's old laptop. The bank blocked it, but the truth hit hard. My family wasn't just taking, they were stealing. I dialed Edward, my pulse loud in my ears. "Dad, what's this loan? My signature's on it." "And I didn't sign." He sighed, like I was overreacting. "Claire, relax. It's for Tyler's future. A smart investment. You can handle the payments." I choked out, "You forged my name. That's fraud." A beat of silence. Then his voice turned cold. "We're family. We make sacrifices. Tyler needs this. You don't." I hung up, tears burning. They saw Tyler's potential as worth more than my trust. Maybe they thought they were saving him. Margaret often fretted about Tyler's aimless life, and Edward believed a big win like a beach house could set him straight. But their plan meant sacrificing me, assuming I'd carry the load like always. The papers, the bank alert, they weren't mistakes. They were proof I was a means to an end. Not a daughter, not a sister. My whole life, I'd given to keep them close rent money, gala funds, Tyler's debts. Now they'd crossed a line that shattered every excuse I'd made for them. I sat there, staring at the forged signature. My name twisted into their lie. The hurt was raw, but beneath it, something stirred anger, sharp and clear. I wasn't their safety net anymore. I thought of every time I'd said yes, hoping for love that never came. This wasn't just about money. It was about my worth, my future. And for the first time, I knew I had to fight for it. Not for them, but for me. The papers in my hand weren't just a debt, they were the end of their hold on me, and the start of something new. Morning came, and the fog of betrayal lifted, leaving a sharp, unyielding clarity. I'm Claire Donovan, and the forged $150,000 loan papers, my name stolen for Tyler's Cape Cod beach house, weren't just a mistake, they were a declaration. My family, Edward, Margaret, and Tyler thought they could take my future. They were wrong. I called in sick, my voice steady, and booked a meeting with Rebecca Stein, a Stanford lawyer with a reputation for cutting through nonsense. Her office, all clean lines and soft light, felt like a place where truth could breathe. I spread the loan documents on her desk, explaining the fake signature, the attempted hack into my $50,000 savings. Rebecca's brow furrowed. "Claire, this is fraud. Clear cut. Your mother's signature on that loan could mean jail time." She laid out my paths, report it to the bank and police, risking criminal charges, or negotiate quietly, though that could invite more games. I didn't hesitate. "Report it. I'm done shielding them." Rebecca nodded. "Let's lock down your finances first." By afternoon, I'd frozen my accounts, reset passwords, and added extra security. A credit check showed another blow, a rejected credit card application at Saks, filed in my name days after the loan. They weren't stopping. I called the bank's fraud team. "I'm Claire Donovan. My signature was forged on a $150,000 loan for a Cape Cod property. I need it gone." The agent was calm, professional, promising a quick review, but my family wasn't so composed. Tyler's texts hit like a storm. "You're killing me, Claire. That house was my shot. Why do you hate me?" Margaret emailed, her words, a velvet trap. "Claire, we're devastated. Tyler's lost without that house. Be reasonable." Edward's voicemail was ice push this. "And you're no longer a Donovan. Think hard." Then Tyler took it public. An Instagram post, him in front of the beach house, captioned, "Stabbed in the back by family." Broken trust. No mention of the fraud, just a sob story about a bitter sister. Comments flooded in cousins. Friends. "Stay strong. Tyler Claire's out of line." Maybe Tyler believed he deserved that house, thought I owed him for his struggles. Margaret and Edward likely saw it as a desperate move to save him. But their truth didn't change mine. I sent every message to Rebecca, building a case as solid as my resolve. The social media noise, the family pressure, it didn't break me. It showed me how far they'd go to protect their lie. I wasn't just fighting for my money. I was fighting for my voice, my right to say no. each step locking accounts. Calling the bank felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. They'd counted on my silence, my loyalty. But I was done being their anchor. I was ready to rise, no matter what came next. Margaret's voice crackled through my phone, smooth but edged. "Claire, dinner tomorrow, 7 sharp. We need to talk Edward, Tyler, you, no warmth, just expectation. I'm Claire Donovan." And once, I'd have rushed to Greenwich, eager to please. Now, with the $150,000 forged loan burning in my mind, I saw it for what it was, a trap. But I said, "I'll come, not to beg, not to bend, to stand my ground and end this." The drive to their mansion felt heavy, the familiar white columns looming like a stage set for their drama. Tyler's Tesla gleamed in the driveway, a symbol of their favoritism, while Edward and Margaret's cars hid in the garage. Margaret met me at the door, her smile tight. "Let's keep this civil." Claire. Inside. The dining room was set with Tyler's favorite grilled salmon. Not my taste, never asked. Tyler sat, eyes on his phone, barely nodding. Edward stood by the window, hands clasped, his face a study in control. "Claire, sit," Edward said, voice low. "We're disappointed. Fraud claims lawyers. That's not us." I took a breath. Steady. "What is us?" "Dad, forging my name on a $150,000 loan, trying to hack my savings." Tyler's phone hit the table. "You're blowing this up." "Claire, it's just a house. You've got money, why care?" His tone was sharp, but his eyes flickered, maybe with fear of losing his dream. "I care," I said, "because you stole from me." "You didn't ask, you lied." Margaret leaned in, voice soft, coaxing. "Claire, Tyler's building something. You're so stable. We thought you'd want to help." Help the word twisted. "You thought I'd pay for your choices." I said, "You left me out of Thanksgiving, then forged my signature. That's not family." Edward's jaw tightened. "We gave you everything, school, a home. This is how you repay us." His words carried a trace of hurt, as if he believed his sacrifices justified their actions. I stood, voice calm but firm. "I earned my scholarships, my job, my life. You've taken and taken. And I'm done," Tyler snapped. "You're just jealous I'm the one they love." A flash of his old vulnerability showed, the boy who leaned on me when he was small. But it wasn't enough. Love doesn't forge signatures. "Tyler," I said. Margaret reached for me. "Claire, we need that house for Tyler's future." "What's he supposed to do?" I met her eyes. Steady. "Figure it out." Like I did, I walked out. The doors click final. The night air hit my face, cool and sharp. I'd said what I'd held back for years, every hurt, every truth. They might have thought they were saving Tyler, propping up his fragile confidence. But their love for him cost me mine. Driving away, my chest ached, not just for what I'd lost, but for what I'd finally claimed myself. The road ahead was uncertain, but it was mine. The bank called 3 days after I left my parents' Greenwich mansion. Their words, a quiet victory. "Miss Donovan, the $150,000 loan's been removed from your name. The Cape Cod property's set for repossession. I'm Claire Donovan, and I should have felt free." But as I sat in my Stamford apartment, the weight of what came next settled in. I'd stood up to Edward, Margaret, and Tyler, but they weren't going to let me walk away quietly. Tyler's reaction hit first, a flood of texts, raw and furious. "Claire, you took my house. I'm screwed because of you." His voicemails were worse, voice cracking. "You happy now? I've got nothing." I saw the hurt beneath his anger, the fear of a future he couldn't charm his way into. But I blocked him. my hand steady. Margaret's email came next, sharp and pleading. Claire, Tyler's lost. We're humiliated. You can still fix this. Edward's call was colder, a single voicemail. You've shamed us, Claire. You're no longer welcome here. Maybe they thought they were protecting Tyler's dreams, shielding him from failure. But their loyalty to him left me in the dust. Then they took it public. Tyler posted on Instagram a photo of the empty Cape Cod driveway, captioned, "Lost everything to family betrayal. Trust no one." He spun a tale of a cruel sister, skipping the fraud. Comments piled up: cousins, family friends, even my old high school coach. Tyler, you don't deserve this. Claire's gone too far. My cousin Sophie wrote, "Some people can't stand seeing others happy." Each word stung, twisting my truth into their narrative. They didn't know about the forged signature, the attempted hack on my $50,000 savings. They just believed. It didn't stop there. Margaret called my Stamford office, leaving messages with coworkers about my personal struggles. Edward emailed my boss, Laura, hinting I was unreliable under stress. Laura saw through it, pulling me aside. "Claire, your dad's trying to spin a story. I've got your back." Her trust anchored me. But the invasion burned. My family wasn't just fighting me. They were rewriting who I was. Then a call came, soft and unexpected. Aunt Elaine, Edward's sister. Her voice warm. "Claire, you did the right thing. They tried this with my daughter once, a car loan they borrowed her name for. We paid to keep peace. You're braver." She thought Edward's pride made him blind, always bailing Tyler out to prove he was a good father. Her words shifted something. I wasn't alone. Others had faced their schemes, their need to control. The social media storm, the family's attacks, they were loud, but they were hollow. I'd lost their approval, but I'd gained a truth they couldn't touch. My fight wasn't over, but for the first time, I felt the ground solid beneath me, ready to build something new. My Stamford apartment felt different after the storm. The silence, once heavy with Tyler's texts and Margaret's guilt trips, turned soft, like a space I could shape. I'm Claire Donovan, and with the $150,000 loan off my name and the Cape Cod house gone, I faced a new question: who was I without my family's shadow? Some nights, doubt crept in. Had I been too hard, too final? But I wasn't alone anymore. I found Dr. Sarah Brooks, a Greenwich therapist whose steady voice helped me untangle the knots. Edward, Margaret, and Tyler had tied. Sarah asked me early on, "Claire, what makes you feel alive?" I fumbled, unused to the question. My life had been about their needs, not mine. In our sessions, I traced the years of being reliable. Claire, the girl who paid their bills, swallowed their slights. Sarah showed me how their manipulation worked. Edward's demands framed as duty. Margaret's tears as love. Tyler's charm as a free pass. They'd leaned on me, thinking I'd never break. Seeing that wasn't my fault. It was theirs. Felt like opening a window after years in a locked room. Healing came in small, real moments. My friend Hannah invited me to her family's Christmas in Vermont, a tradition she'd offered for years. I went, stepping into a cabin warm with pine and laughter. Hannah's dad, Tom, asked about my data analyst job. Curious, no agenda. Her mom, Ellen, handed me cocoa, remembering I liked it without marshmallows. We strung popcorn for the tree, and when Tom said, "Your family," Claire, I believed him. It wasn't blood, it was care, free of strings. Maybe Edward and Margaret thought they'd given me that, in their own way. but their love always came with a cost. I built new routines. I started volunteering at a Stamford soup kitchen, serving meals and swapping stories with strangers who felt like friends. I joined a hiking group, my boots crunching trails along the Sound. Each step a reminder I could choose my path. I even went on a date with Mark, a teacher who listened when I talked, his easy laugh a balm. These were my people, my life, built on mutual respect, not obligation. Then my cousin Sophie reached out. Her email cautious. Claire, I got it wrong at Thanksgiving. I see how they twist things now. Can we talk over coffee in Norwalk? She shared how Tyler's demands had shifted to her family, Margaret's pressure following. It wasn't full trust yet, but a bridge, one we'd cross slowly. Edward might have thought he was holding the family together, but his control pushed us apart. Healing wasn't perfect. Some days, I'd pass a Mother's Day card display and feel the old ache. But with Sarah, Hannah, and my new routines, I learned to hold that pain without letting it rule me. I wasn't just surviving, I was growing, finding a Claire who didn't need their approval to shine. I'm Claire Donovan, sitting in my Stamford apartment, the harbor lights flickering outside. The $150,000 loan, forged in my name for Tyler's Cape Cod beach house, is gone. Edward, Margaret, and Tyler, their voices. Their demands are silent now, blocked from my phone, my life. But this isn't about what I escaped. It's about what I found. Family isn't who shares your blood. It's who shows up, no strings attached. It's Hannah's family welcoming me in Vermont. Aunt Elaine's quiet support, the new connections I'm building every day. I used to think I had to earn love. Now I know it's given freely. Or it's not love at all. Looking back, that forged loan wasn't just a betrayal, it was a mirror. It showed me how Edward saw family as a ledger. Every favor, a debt. Margaret's tears were her way of keeping us close. Maybe out of fear we'd drift. Tyler leaned on charm to hide his struggles, believing he deserved what I worked for. They might have thought they were holding us together, saving Tyler from his own chaos. But their choices forging my name, trying to access my $50,000 savings, weren't about family. They were about control, and I paid the price. Walking away hurt, but staying would have cost me more. I chose me, and that changed everything. Here's what I've learned, and I hope it helps you. First, guard your finances like your future depends on it. Check your credit report yearly. It's free. Use two-factor authentication on every account. I dodged a bullet when my bank caught Edward's hack attempt. But you might not. Second, spot manipulation before it traps you. If someone guilts you for saying no, that's not care, it's a tactic. Margaret's, our anchor was a chain, not a compliment. Third, find your people, volunteer, join a group, call that friend who gets you. Hannah's family taught me belonging doesn't need a last name. Fourth, seek help if you need it. Therapy with Dr. Sarah Brooks showed me I wasn't broken, just bent, and I could stand tall again. In America, we're told family is everything, but sometimes letting go is the strongest thing you can do. My life's brighter now. I'm leading projects at work, my desk full of notes from the Stamford soup kitchen where I volunteer. I'm hiking with friends, planning a trip with Mark, who makes me laugh without asking for anything. Some days, I pass a Christmas card aisle and feel the old pang for what might have been. But those moments don't own me. They're just echoes. Not my truth. I've built a life where I'm enough. No payment required. If this resonates, you're not alone. Maybe you're caught, giving too much to people who take without seeing you. You deserve better. Share your story below what's helped you break free. Like this video if it hit home. Subscribe for more about finding your strength, and pass it to someone who needs it. Real family builds you up. No invoice attached. Thank you for listening. Let's keep choosing ourselves together.